Progressing into stretches for the lower half and the low back, we'll start with the Tfl stretch. As you take the Tfl stretch, standing, take your left leg, place it over the right, cross it over the right, and then begin to push your hip outward to the right. So you're trying to target the outside hip, supporting with this left side leg, keeping the right leg straight. Hip goes out, you should feel the stretch sometimes in your core, the TFL, and down your IT band. Hold for about 20 to 30 seconds, return to center, repeat maybe 2 to 3 times. When you're ready, you would switch to the other side. As you finish off IT bands on both sides, you work into a hip flexor stretch, targeting the front of your hip and into the top portion of your quad. Staggered stance, one foot is forward, one is back. Tucking your hips underneath you. You don't want to let your hips rock forward. Think about tucking the butt, core is tight. You can shift your weight backwards slightly, chest is open, arching your back slightly, should take the stretch into the front of your hip flexor. Bringing your body weight back forward after a 20 to 30 second hold. You can step forward, you can step back into it when you're ready, into the staggered stance, and working. Repeating 2 to 3 times on each side. From there, you work into inner thigh stretch, split stance, so feet are staggered out wide, toes, important to have toes pointed forward. As you shift your body weight over, you drop into what looks like a lateral lunge. The trailing side leg stays straight, the toes point forward. You don't want to rock onto the heel. As you rock onto the heel, you're gonna stretch your hamstring. Keeping toes pointed forward, shifting your weight down, you can support on your quad, you can support on the ground if you're more flexible. You find what works for you and your stretch. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds, come back to neutral, and then repeat on the same side 2 to 3 times. Cool. Progressing into a hamstring stretch. 2 options here. Standing, staggered stance, one foot is forward, toes are up, driving through the heel, hips push back, back stays flat. Important not to round out the back. Keep the chest proud, shoulders are back, push your hips behind you. The straight leg receives the stretch. The bent leg is your support. You hold for 20 to 30, you push your hips back forward to stand, repeat 2 to 3 times, and then target the other side. Another option or progression from hamstring will be to take a seated position on the couch. One leg is on the couch, out in front of you. The other leg is on the ground. The leg on the couch is the targeted leg. This is just the support leg. Same as before, hinge the upper body forward, keeping the back flat, not trying to overreach and round out the back. You want to keep your chest proud. You're reaching towards the toes, but notice your knees, your shin, your ankle, they're all in the same direction of your toes. It's not a competition. You take it to the point of discomfort and then you just hold. You don't need to try to get your toes. Some of you will be bent over and your head will be on your shins. Some of you may be just touching your shins with your hands. When you're ready to target the other side, you would shift to the other side of your couch or turn around and use a different angle on your couch and work into the next side. As you finish up hamstring stretch, we'll come down to the floor. We're gonna target the quads next. As you come down, one leg is out in front of you. The other leg is tucked back, almost like you would be doing a standing quad stretch. For this one, you don't wanna flop down on your back. I know you guys are probably tired after your workout and your stretches. Slowly walk yourselves back. If you feel any pain in your knee, you can slowly start to straighten the leg out a little bit, increasing the angle. If your knee feels fine, you can pull it back a little bit. Shifting weight back, feeling the stretch in your quad. Some of you will be able to go to lying flat. Some of you will be only 30, 45 degrees back. Whatever gets you your stretch in the top portion of your leg. A progression to make it slightly more difficult will be to utilize your couch again. A chair also works well. You can take a kitchen chair, a stool, something that you can rest your foot on. Knee underneath the hip. Hips go back as your back goes back. And you'll start to feel the stretch down your hip flexor and the front of your quad. Feel good? Awesome. Ensuring that you hit both sides for 2 to 3 times, 20 to 30 seconds at a time. Coming down to the ground, We have one more. The low back stretch. For you yogis out there, some of you will recognize this. Starting with feet behind you, knees under hips, taking a cat-cow, letting your hips fall forward, letting your chest drop down, and then picking back up into a rounded spine. Sucking the belly button up, and then dropping back down. You can inhale as you come up. Is that right? She's the yogi, not me. Inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down. Take 4 to 5 rounds at your own pace. And then when you're ready, shift your hips back. Knees are wide, chest comes down in front of legs, in between legs. Hands are extended out in front of you, and hold for child's pose. Nice. Feel good? Cool. Coming back to a seated position, we have a seated figure 4. You take one leg, pull it back, cross the ankle over in front of the quad on the opposite side leg, taking the knee and pushing forward slightly. You can also shift forward slightly. Should add a little bit to the stretch. As you put more pressure into the hand on the knee and you push downward, you're going to add more tension to the hip and glute. You can also opt to take a lying figure 4. Lie back slightly. Reaching through the legs, grabbing the hamstring, and you can pull using the outside elbow to push the knee forward. It will also add to the stretch in your glute. Hold for 20 to 30. Repeat 2 to 3 times on both sides.